Title as usual, Civil Field Engineering. Again same problem, signals both video and audio, 00 bps. I don't understand. Civil Field Engineering, life, engineers, concrete specifications, quality, and of course contracts, designs and construction, and of course methods and contracts. Going to talk miscellaneous type, but all are linked together. In engineering, all phases are linked together. That is beauty of engineering. As you can say, certification of competency, that experience and academics combined together results into such competency, which is a must. Without competency, one cannot be a good engineer. This also another membership certificate. This is, there can be lower certificates also, like membership as well as associate membership. And this is declaration of file prepared safety, health, environment, and engineering approach, which should be based upon totality of quality, safety, health, and environment, community. Talks of concrete specifications, and this has been extracted from specification, professional training, and corporate membership of this institution. This certificate is granted. It is a provision, and I close this now. And also this is same FIE certificate, and this is issued like that. So I close this also. So now lies quality file. Quality, I consider it very differently, because this means I consider life related to quality and quality related to life. These days, COVID-19 has been very functional. You can say that COVID-19 and its updated version on this day, that is this day in December, you may say whatever date in December 2021, that update is Omicron followed by Delta, Alpha, Beta, Gamma, I think Lambda, Delta, and then Omicron. I just got some news from yahoo.com that some scientists said that it is unexpected one. Unexpected. I mean to say why I am involving COVID in this talk, because COVID has impacted everybody. It has impacted minds, it has impacted psychology, it has impacted variations of factors in life all over the world. Nothing is clear about Omicron till now, and of course, understood to be too powerful, super powerful, you can say currently. You do not know what I can do against you, and you do not know what I can do in your favor. I think we must have lesson from these viruses. These viruses may change, versions may change. Just like variations of this virus define its character, define its you can say quality, you can say otherwise, its aftermaths. Same way, quality is an issue in developed world and other world. It may be development or no development, but quality plays its role. It plays its role in significant way, and significantly we have to define requirement ourselves. It is not automatically defined. We have to use natural resources for our purpose. Natural resources, whatever properties these have, we study them and use them per science and engineering requirements. Science defines something and engineering acts on that. So we can say that is application of sciences that we name engineering. Engineering is a combination of sciences and applications, means particular act, particular work. And engineering is therefore very solid discipline. Of course, depends on performance of products engineering gives. And these products change our lives. If we have to change our lives, we have to use engineering products, or there is nothing we can say we can have. Now even agricultural sector has been named, particularly if you see, if you cover that into engineering domain, it is called agricultural engineering. There is no activity in life which does not come under ambit of certain engineering branch. Therefore, we have to be very careful in understanding engineering mode of life, engineering mode, social mode, medical mode, and various other modes. We have to spend lot on engineering products. As family we have to spend, as a state we have to spend, as nation we have to spend, and as world we have to spend. Lot money goes to engineering activities, engineering product. From very small WC sheet to whatever item you can consider in your life, your house, your some neighborhood, your road, your services system, your city, your railway, water resources, or you can say all facilities that you get support from, certain engineering is involved. And engineering is a product which is not a unit, but there are combinations of hundreds and hundreds of activities in one major title. If we consider certain manufacturing factory, certain manufacturing industry, or certain processing plant, or certain whatever type of structure we consider, that there are so many subjects involved, so many methods involved, and one of them is father of everyone. Father means controller of every activity, and that is named by title communication and coordination, which I consider is extremely significant. Without its named being asset, we cannot consider communication and coordination physically, but it works imaginarily into a solid state of our activities. We cannot understand our activities without availability or without, you can say, input through communication and coordination world. I can call it a world rather than a state. Communication and coordination, first of all, this title is very different. If you define this as a subject, there is no subject as such. Yes, you can write something about communication, it itself is communication. It itself is a communique. And there can be unlimited communique in explaining communication. And in driving to understand what is coordination, coordination is very different world, which is input of hundreds of communications, and on many more than that, you can say communication is like your own common sense. Of course, there are mediums available which you use for communication. Nowadays, very many mediums. In past, if you go and see 40 or 50 years back, you will find there was no major communication except letters used through or you can transmit it through post offices. Because communication means like this: letters or envelope or aerogram or telegram or facsimile. Likewise, or you can say very late we got advanced communication, and now we have got so much that everything is messed up. Messed up in a way it goes beyond controls. We use now, who uses letters? Very few. System is through couriers. There are mails, electronic mails, and mobile is a dominant world currently. You can say hardly you will not find even 1% or 2% people who do not use mobile. Not one. Some people use 2 mobile, some people use more than that. Some people use laptop, some people use desktop. And communication speed has become powerful. Too powerful. If you don't have mobile for a couple of hours, you feel unrest. Means it is more than food requirement. You can go without food for 1 day, 2 days, but you cannot stay without mobile even for half an hour. It happens. Some people during use of WC also use mobile. Some people while driving cycle or riding cycle also use mobile. Mobile has been so attractive that you even put your life to death or to threat. Some people crossing railway track, don't bother about train. They bother about mobile. Selfie has become a disease. You can create obstruction for others. This happens. I am just giving such examples of mobile, and likewise use of internet. Internet has been so dominant that your life is less important than its use. It's only, you can say, my understanding. I appreciate these sources, these media. But for what? For what? We are not ready to understand that. young generation, middle generation, old generation, all are all are as if duty bound to use mobile, as if everybody is very busy. It seems everybody is very busy. I think I call it abuse of resources. Of course, for some this is lucky because they may make money out of this. For example, these organizations, these companies which provide services for communication, they make a lot of money. They can charge whatever they wish, and because we have no alternative, we are forced to pay them. And for them, it is you can say making profit, making life. That's what I'm saying. We have become indirectly slaves all over world. We give so much importance to communication devices, not communication devices. Even newborn babies, I mean to say those KG or child of infants use mobile. Parents do not care about impact of mobile use, excessive use on these kids' eyes. Here I am not talking to you for bad, good, whatever use of mobile, but my inclination is, my target is quality of communication. And if quality of communication is good, it is worth, then we can say coordination becomes interesting. Communication is important and coordination is very important. Both are important. We cannot skip either of them. If we skip them, we escape ourselves. Nowadays, we can speak a lot in whatever language. Every educated person or not even educated person, both can talk very well in their own style. You can see hundreds of videos available on YouTube or otherwise. Talking is not a problem. In your own language, people are very talkative and they don't think about what they talk. But what is the result? Except your public approach, there is no meaning of those talks. Nobody tries to retry those talks later or say after a couple of days, because those talks have got no profile, no meaning of application. What I am saying is, your talk should be that specific. It should be used again and again for certain purpose. And that is actually, you can say, useful communication. Talk is a communication. Recording is a medium of communication. And communication should be standardized. It should be useful. And if my communication is not useful, I may say I cannot call it communication because it has lost its purpose. There is no set objective and I just talk on. You may call it gossipism communication, which is just used for instant entertainment and nothing else, which has got no final destiny, no final application. You cannot say that it results in certain application. My standard of working is that if you communicate something, it should be thought based. There should be some contemplation behind that. Some school of thought must exist. Otherwise, it's only conversation. It cannot be called communication. Conversation means you just speak something, whatever you want to speak, and let somebody else understand or respond to that. And that keeps on going without any time limit or without any contents limit. You talk on something this, then you within 30 seconds you reach somewhere else and you start talking on that and then come back to other one. So it is just, a conversation. It's not communication. I'm talking of technical communication. I'm considering communication as technique. How to, how to pass your message in its perfect state to other person, and how other person can receive that message in another perfect state. So these two perfect states must work together, and whatever plus and minus happens, I say that whatever you state and whatever response comes, and then whatever again you respond, and then the further comes back, it's a combination from where you can chart out, you can take out some solid substance, as happens in cases examination, cross examination, then likewise something comes out of that, and this is substance. We call it substance. Why I mean to say, if communication is not full of substance, there is no meaning of communication. अगर आपके संचार माध्यम में आप जो भी बोल रहे हैं, जो भी कह रहे हैं, जो भी लिख रहे हैं, और वहाँ से जवाब आ रहा है दूसरी तरफ से, और फिर आप उसको फिर जवाब दे रहे हैं, अगर उसमें कुछ सब तत्व नहीं निकल के बाहर आ रहा, उन बातों में कुछ आपका कुछ ऐसा नहीं आ रहा जिसको आप प्रयोग में लाएं, या जिसको आप कह सकें देखिए मेरी बात का जवाब ये है, उसको आप कहीं भी इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते। आपको सब्सटेंस लाना चाहिए, यही तो संचार है। जब दो व्यक्ति बात करते हैं, हा करते हैं, शोर मचाते हैं, तो कोई बात वैसी करते, इसका कोई मतलब नहीं होता, मैं उसको कम्युनिकेशन या संचार नहीं कहता, वो टाइम पास गप्पे हैं, गप्पे, गॉसिपिज्म। लेकिन हम जब बात करते हैं तकनीक की, कम्युनिकेशन तकनीक है, संचार एक तकनीक है, एक तरीका है अपनी बात को दूसरे को सिस्टमेटिकली समझाने का, एक सिस्टम के हिसाब से समझाने का, और फिर वो जवाब दे जिससे कुछ सामने आए कि हाँ ये बात है, हम मिलके ये बात कर रहे थे, इसका ये आंसर हुआ। उसको आप रेफरेंस कह लीजिए, उसको आप कुछ भी कह लीजिए। संचार एक बहुत बड़ा सेक्टर है जिस पे इतनी कंपनियां काम कर रही हैं। मोबाइल यूज़ एक अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा संचार माध्यम है, ऐसे ही इंटरनेट उससे बड़ा संचार माध्यम है। इनकी कोई हदें नहीं हैं, इनका कोई देश नहीं है, पूरा विश्व एक देश है। होल वर्ल्ड इज ए कंट्री। देयर इज नो सेपरेट ज्योग्राफिकल डिमार्केशन among world of communication, nothing. And of course, coordination. These are international states, these are world states, and that is indeed true. You can talk to anyone, everyone all over the world without any visa requirement. And that's what communication stands for. That's what coordination stands for. These are universal, universal domains, communication. We have to understand this strength. I can say ये एक strength है, शक्ति है, शक्ति दिमाग की, शक्ति यूज की। Still I remember when I used to write from Iraq to India. When I was there, it took at least 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks, or you can say sometimes 1 week, for one and one-to-one from Iraq to India letter transmission took from 1 week to 3 weeks, sometime a month. It was not far away. If you go to 80s, 1980, 81, 82, likewise up to 90, or up to, you can say, some evolution happened about these devices. It was long journey for our letters. Now that journey of months or weeks have become to seconds, and that's what power of communication tells. We have to be very specific about use of this power, and we cannot destroy it in, you can say, nothing or in futile results. Communication has to be properly designed. We cannot consider it equal to gossipism, which has no weight. And because communication means formalizing to some requirement or to some useful form, and we can say that is coordination. If I write anything blindly, without thinking, without doing something, write 2 or 3 pages, and there is no system, no structure in those. No structure in those writings, but material is available. In that case, it's very difficult for a recipient to analyze it. It takes, writing is very easy. You keep on thinking and writing, okay, it happened with me, it happened with this, happened. From one to all you write, but you yourself cannot analyze it. And person who receives it shall take a lot of time to realize that, to analyze that, and to understand that. And that person also will read and dump it. But where is answer? There is no answer, because that submission, that writing, that content is not well structured, and because it is not well structured, it is not well coordinated. Sequencing is not available, phrasing is not clear, and there is nothing known what this writing intends to declare. So you can say it is coordination less writing, or it is not coordinated at all. I am striking to say, because coordination is pen actually. It is pen, power of pen. Just like communication is lower standard power of pen, coordination is higher standard of writing. If you really think and write, you can communicate well, and if you think analytically and write, or after writing preliminary, you can analyze and further writing, or you can edit yourself, and then you can say you get a better communication, and better communication and many such communications within same communication can result in coordinated communication. And that coordinated communication can be called professional coordination or professional communication, and which is not defined, which is not given any shape or any formula. Every communication writer, every coordinator has to do it itself. And how best you can coordinate, how best you can communicate, it depends on that. Sometimes it is very easy, and sometimes it is very much difficult, because nature of subject. If nature of subject is very difficult, work of coordination also becomes very difficult. I am trying to stress on communication and coordination because these are very responsible engineering factors, and these results in creation of documents, and these documents themselves coordinate with each other. Therefore, we have to be very clear in understanding coordination, because coordination is not a defined subject, and it may not be some visible subject, because everybody's nature is different, everybody's quality is different, everybody's thoughts and what one can specify, other person may not specify same way. There can be difference, but interaction can be easily conducted if coordination and communication are well supported by your efforts. Otherwise, you may not understand each other, we may not understand different activities, we have to bring them together. It's like that, there are many people, they have to work together. And how can they work together if everybody has got different line of action? Subject may be same, project may be same, but line of action is different. You want to do one way, I want to do another way, and the person wants to do some other way. It all creates mix up. Or we can call in our language in Bharat, it is khichdi. You know khichdi, which is combinations of many ingredients of food. That's what I say. We have to remove from our communication and coordination khichdi, and bring it some useful product. Khichdi is also useful. Generally, khichdi is light product and it is digestible, but issue is not digestion. Issue is eruption of reality. Eruption of reality and to apply that reality into quality system. And we can say quality system is that one which you propose and you dispose. You decide what's best one, nobody else will decide. आप ही को तय करना है आप क्या करना चाहते हैं, गुणवत्ता में आप कितना देना चाहते हैं, अपने मटेरियल्स को, अपने साधनों को आप किस प्रकार से प्रयोग में लाना चाहते हैं। जितना आप चाहते हैं उतनी ही उसकी गुणवत्ता कहलाएगी। कोई आपको बताएगा नहीं कि आपको क्या करना है, आपको स्वयं इसका फैसला करना होगा। यदि आप व्यर्थी हैं, यदि आप व्यवसायक हैं, आपको क्या चीज़ बना के दूसरों को देनी है या बेचनी है, कुछ भी कह लीजिए आप, उसमें आपने कितना शक्ति डाला है, कितना आसानी से करने का डाला है, उसी को हम क्वालिटी कहते हैं। क्वालिटी ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, क्वालिटी ऑफ प्रोडक्शन, क्वालिटी ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग, क्वालिटी ऑफ एजुकेशन, क्वालिटी ऑफ सर्विसेज, quality in society, quality in individual. Here my point is towards individual. हम सब individual हैं, everyone. Maybe scientist, engineer, doctor, ordinary person, CA, everyone who is a professional or non-professional. Maybe politician, maybe non-politician, maybe engineer, maybe non-engineer. Everybody is involved somewhere in works, and how they conduct as individual, as group of individual, as associations. It changes and it classifies varieties, we can say. Again I say that construction where I am much inclined, because this is very expensive world. We have to spend a lot in construction, and that construction is very, very powerful. We cannot say no, it is very powerful indeed, that construction, and in that construction we have to be very specific in that construction, because we have to spend human resources, we have to use equipment, we have to permanently and temporarily use materials, and also we have to use techniques, and there is nothing left we are not to use in that. And what sort of construction we carry, how objective and how objectively it will work, what efficiency it shall give based on what material is used, all these are conducted from one time to other time. And when I say civil engineering construction or construction engineering, this deals with everybody for many decades to come. It's not just a month or 2 months or 3 months consumer item you use and throw it, or vegetable you consume and throw it, whatever is skins of vegetable, scraps. It's something that involves our lives, our whole life savings, and we can say yes. Of course, there is, you can say, decomposition of material, there's hysteresis of material, of whatever we use, and you can say depreciation factor counts, deteriorating factor counts, but what counts is ultimately working life or living life of that material, that product. We call it constructed product, which is very important one from every viewpoint, and we can say we have to use that. And quality is in essence, quality is, we can say, soul there. When soul leaves body, body is considered finished, dead. Same way, if quality leaves, if quality is not included, if quality is not used in production or in construction, you can say that product can be called dead product. It's not active product. If it's active, it's deficiently active. It's not engineering, it is substandard engineering. And that's a very important point we have to consider in our construction world. I don't repeat same thing every day. I was interested in concrete, which is very significant material used in construction all over the world. It's not our world or your world. It's everywhere in you can say everywhere in we're talking of formwork, and we talked about something how these windows and what we're talking about cambers, exterior angles, detection of moving during placement, buildings in pipes, work platform. So we may say I'll come to this 94 page. Probably I don't know where it was recorded. I exactly don't remember, but these panels I remember. Sloping surface I think we did, and also temporary openings. So form windows, did coordination, conduits. We had studied ties and bolts. We studied cambers, exterior angles, surface retarders, detection of movement during concrete place. We did that. We tried to understand that. Building in pipes. So let us say we can start anywhere. I don't exactly remember wherever because there was a failure of video and actually where it was. I can say we can start from removal of formworks. It was also done. It is also done. Holes to be filled and repair of damaged concrete surfaces. We did that one. Then delivery and storage. Let us say here we can say let us start with repairs of concrete, usually batter, stripping of formwork we had done, and you know how formwork should be. Also we can say whole fell. Let's say we can start somewhere here just to have a good restart. It shall help us. And we can now holes to be filled. Which holes we are talking? Holes formed in concrete surfaces by formwork supports or like shall be filled neatly with non-shrink grout. Here is important point. There may be holes, whatever kind of holes you can say, tie bolt holes or generally tie bolt holes you have in formwork. Otherwise, there is no question of holes. And these holes, and of course, sometimes we can say we drill out cores from concrete. So those are also holes, but those are different. Those are not very common. We're talking of procedural procedure created holes, and we say holes to be filled. Holes formed in concrete surfaces by formwork supports or like should be filled neatly with non-shrink grout, and contractor shall clean and scarify any hole that is to be filled with non-shrink grout. Scarify. This means actually hole is there, surface of hole should be scarified means it should be little roughened so that its latents comes out and aggregates are exposed. Just like we say in road work, when we do waterbound macadam, you create layer, you establish layer and compact it, then you create another layer on that, and before both layers are linked or bonded, we have to do some scarifying of lower one for purpose of higher one. Lower layer is scarified from surfaces, means you have to remove something from there so that the kind of bonding or key exists between two layers. And here also we can say scarify. You have to scarify surface of that hole. And then you have to fill in non-shrink grout. And what is non-shrink grout? That is another point. We use certain chemicals in those holes. Paste certain shall we use, and that is such that immediately it doesn't create a problem for cracking after working. it shrinks very, means it sets little way that no shrinking happens. As we said in our supplementary cementing material, that we use our cement along with cement percentages are replaced using the supplementary cementing materials like pulverized fuel ash or GGBS or microsilica. These infill, these you can say infill properties of non-shrinking into material produced using cementing material, and that concrete in which these are placed in or mortar, it can be called non-shrinking because it doesn't immediately set in a way that shrinkage happens. So chances of temperature control are affected. You may say this is a lower reaction material. It happens in a way, it's a slower speed, but its strength is same at designated day, and that is what is non-shrinking, because there should be no friction left. There should be no way that this material will fill in, may be debonded from original material, and that's the purpose that it should form like homogeneous relation between new and old material. So that's what to be holes filled in, then repair to damaged concrete surface. Concrete, is very expensive material, and we cannot leave it. We cannot leave it if it's not done well. There can be, I'm not talking exactly directly of strength requirements, saying if concrete is not done well, there can be many defects in concrete. Damages can happen due to whatever reason. It happens, after all, it is work. And we have to see surfaces of concrete when we remove shutters, we remove formwork. We have to think a lot, at least surface defects. We have to be sure about, can we repair them? Can we reinstate original surface? When white defects happen, that's the question. Concrete surfaces are damaged. Where concrete surfaces are damaged or have been damaged, we can say contractor, whoever does it. I can say everybody is a contractor. Contractor breaks out every loose or broken or cracked concrete or aggregate. When we see something available in damaged position, this means not well compacted. This means not well compacted, or you can say there's leakage of some water and cement, liquid or slurry you call it, through whatever way. So there are many honeycombs available, or you can say there can be many voids in that volume, or you can say porous concrete, whatever it is. We have to repair it if that state or that concrete portion which is weakened one. We cannot expect any strength. We cannot expect any strength from that weakened surface or weakened portion of concrete. Concrete surrounding hole shall then be rough. Now it's talking about how to fill in road. These holes we discussed above. Concrete surrounding that hole, how to handle it. That's one way. Says concrete surrounding hole be then thoroughly soaked. We have to soak it, water soak it. Then we have to dry it, of course, soaking and drying, so that you can say all flowing water goes away and a small amount of free water on the surface. You can say you have to dust it using cement, ordinary Portland cement, and by means of a small dry brush. You have to dust it out, whole surface, and then you have to come in contact with dry pack mortar, and you can say it shall become dark, because of absorption of free water, and dry cement and hole shall be removed. Dry cement in hole shall be removed, and then whatever dry pack material placed in layers and compacted thickness according to manufacturer's instruction is compiled by that. We have to abide by, we have to do work in line to what manufacturer's instructions state. Compaction be carried out by use of hardwood stick and hammer and shall extend over full area of layer. Care be taken to compact dry pack against side of holes, and once compaction is over, surface of each layer shall be scratched before further loose material is added, and that scratch is for purpose of keying in both layers together. Do not overfill these holes, and finish by layering in hardwood block against dry pack. Steel finishing shall not be used, and water shall not be added to facilitate finishing. Then surface of concrete rub down is rubbed down smoothly with carborundums and water in approved manner within 3 days of removing formwork. Holes left after removal of such supports shall be neatly filled with non-shrink grout. Delivery and storage. Now we say delivery of formwork. Delivery of formwork material shall be done in such a manner that damage can be prevented. Do not damage formwork material because it's expensive even if you hire it. Delivery of formwork material shall be done in such a manner that damage can be prevented. Formwork should be stored after cleaning and preparing for reuse if it has already been used, in such a manner that access to all different materials is available. Materials which can be affected by weathering shall be stored in appropriate buildings or under cover. Tolerances. Concrete work shall be constructed to an accuracy that permit proper assembly of components, and installations must be compatible with finish. Accuracy of work should be within tolerances shown on drawings or specified elsewhere. In absence of that requirement, we have to take following indicated tolerances into consideration. We can use them, not hard and fast rule, but for purpose of how much control we can achieve, it is given here. Let us say all laying out dimensions. Laying out dimensions, you know what is layout? And that is plus minus 5 mm. Let us say something is 5 meter or 5000 millimeter, you can say 1 meter is 1000 mm. So say 5000 mm we have. If it is 5005 or 4995, it is considered right in line to plus minus 5 mm. Same way, section of concrete members, that is also plus minus 5 mm. It is say 500 mm in drawing, so it is 5500 mm in drawing, so it can be 505 or 495. It is not a rule, it's just, you can say, adjustment. Surface of foundations against ground, it's little more because the surface is in below earth, below ground level. These are concealed in earth, covered below ground. So little plus minus 10 mm. Top surfaces of foundations, bases and piers plus minus 20 mm. Surface level of floor slabs 5 mm straight edge. 5 mm straight edge means there is a 5 mm long piece of edge and we put on that surface, and there can be a level difference of, or you can say elevation difference of, because it is floor slab, so it's not horizontal exactly when you put on, there's a difference of, there's a gap of plus minus 5 mm in 5 meters, that is 5000 mm. So 1 mm in 1000 tolerance. Surface level of floor slabs to data, that is also plus minus 10 mm. Plumb of columns and walls in story height, which is generally 3 meters. Story height 3 or 4. So plumb variation in columns and wall is about plus minus 5 mm. So let us say it is 4 meters or 4000 mm, it's 5 mm. So it is 5 mm variation in 4000. So it is also a little more than 1 mm per 1000. We can see then plumb of columns and walls, plumb and columns and walls in full building height for each story above top of foundation. If it is a 20-meter building, 20-meter building height, it is 20 plus minus 20 mm, which means 1 mm in 1 meter. Vertical it is building height, there should not exceed 1 millimeter in 1 meter. It's very good tolerance, in fact. It can't be detected by eyes controls. Of course with theodolite and other controls we can view it, but 20 or 1 mm in 1 meter. Similarly, building height is more than 20 meters and it is up to, you can say, 150 meter from 20 meter, and it is given again plus minus 1 over 1000 of height. So in this case it is 150 meter. This means plus minus 15. In 20 meters 20 mm, in 150 meter should be 150 mm maximum. Starting from 20 means 20 mm and plus minus 20 mm to plus minus 150 mm. And if you go above that, it's more than 150 meter, though that should be plus minus 150 mm. And it means that 150 meter, 150 mm. It is same uniform application of 1 mm in 1000 mm. We have to keep in mind this, you can say, called vertical controls. Vertical controls means controls on vertical members, and vertical members of course is columns and walls. Inside faces of elevator shaft in story height. Inside faces of elevator or lift, you can say, and story height must story apply say 5 mm plus minus 5 mm, because approximately it's 4 mm, 4 meter or 3 meters, so it is a little more flexible, because elevator shaft it's not elevator, again I say, it's elevator shaft, or we can say well, a lift well we can call it. This gives tolerance on internal side of internal vertical sides of lift well, and for one story which can vary from 4 meter, let us say it is 3.5 meter to 4 to 5 meter, is plus minus 5 because this surface will not be in touch with elevator car. There will be gap, this gap which is meant for vertical structural members, guides, or what we can say, side faces of elevators, ducts or shafts or well, in full building height for each story above top of foundation. If it's 20 meter building, Up to 20 meter it's plus minus 10, so it's half. See, up to 20 meters plus minus 10 mm, and at 150.5 here it's less than the other one, and of course then it's more than 150, it is 75 mm. So here tolerance is 50% in comparison to columns and walls. Now early loading. Early loading, contractor. When I'm saying contractor, this means a person who constructs. Don't take it otherwise. It's not necessary everywhere contractor should do. Even we can do ourselves without contracts. That's construction. So it's only indicatively understand. Contractors should note that loads from false work and wet concrete. Loads from false work here is meaning. It means form work means form work, false work you can say, or shutters. False work and wet concrete